Have you ever thought about how your mouth shapes your marriage? Are the words you speak building it up, strengthening it, and setting a great example for your children and others to follow? In scripture, in Proverbs 18:21, it says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. And that is what we're discussing today.
That's right. Did you know that the Bible contains over 500 verses that talk about our speech? That's a lot. You know, the word tongue appears more than 130 times in scripture. An entire chapter of James is devoted to controlling our words. And Proverbs discusses speech, I think, dozens of times, making it one of the book's major themes. Healthy marriages average about 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. And the average person, get this, speaks thousands of words every single day, meaning that over a 30-year marriage, or in our case, we're almost at 34 and going on, Lord willing, 80 together. But even just over a 30-year marriage, you will speak well over 100 million words to your spouse. That is a lot of words.
But I believe women are a little bit more than men.
Well,
don't you?
You know what?
Maybe?
I think probably.
Yeah.
I think statistically,
we talk a lot.
It used to be like, I read, years ago that women speak like 15,000 words a day and men speak 5,000 on average. But I was reading the other day that that's not so.
Really?
Yeah, that it's not so accurate, but I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know
Who
if
knows?
I believe it. I think it depends too on the
It
personality.
definitely depends
Because
on the
I've
person.
seen some men that are talkers,
And
where
women
the
that
women are
don't
more
talk.
quiet. So
Yeah.
I really think it depends on that.
For sure.
But women, ultimately, I think we do like to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine if even a small percentage of those words intentionally brought life instead of criticism. Each of us will probably speak over, like Allan mentioned, 100 million words to our spouses during your marriage. And the question is not whether our words will shape them. The question is, what will they shape them into?
That's good.
Yeah. And, God spoke the universe into existence. He spoke the universe into, so he used words, right?
Yeah.
And then Jesus is called the Word. So we are made in his image. So it shouldn't surprise us that our words have incredible creative and destructive power. So can you remember something someone said to you like maybe 20 years ago that still affect you today? Maybe when you're a little kid. I know little kids, they can say mean stuff, especially in like elementary, middle school, and that could stick with you for a long time. It hurts.
It does. I mean, I can remember the hurtful words that people said when I was a child. Most people can. Maybe it was, I believe in you, which is a positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or unfortunately, maybe it was something like, you'll never amount to anything, or something along those lines. And the sad part about words is that they don't just disappear. Sometimes we want them to, we want to reel them back in, right? But we can't. They become memories. They become beliefs if the other person hears it enough times.
Because the mind is powerful.
And sometimes it doesn't take that many times.
Yeah.
And sometimes they even become the person's identity. And speaking of the power of words, it's good to remember that, like you said earlier, that God created the universe with words. He said in Genesis 1, we read, let there be light. And boom, there was light. The power of words. And like you also said, we're made in his image. So it should not surprise us, although we can't speak things into existence like he can because we're not God. But it shouldn't surprise us that, that our words are also powerful.
Very powerful.
Being made in his image. And that's just something that is really interesting to think about. Our homes are largely a reflection of the words spoken inside it. That's the reality of every single one of our homes. And I think a good question for each of us to ask ourselves is, what kind of environments are we creating with our words, right?
That's right. Yeah. Earlier, I quoted the first part of Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, but the rest actually says, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So another great question for each of us is to ask ourselves, what kind of fruit is growing in our marriage? Because every marriage is producing fruit.
Yeah.
either healthy or unhealthy, good or bad, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good reminder. And,
Yeah.
words create atmosphere. So every home has an atmosphere. It's either one of peace and joy.
Yeah.
Is it tension? Some homes are full of fear,
Yep.
encouragement, discouragement, sarcasm.
Yeah, that's one that, yeah, I've
We've
seen
seen
a
that for
lot.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, words are one of the biggest contributors to the atmosphere of the home.
Mhm.
Imagine walking into two different homes, right? One sounds like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I'm proud of you. I forgive you." And another you walk into and you hear, "You always, you never," right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Leave me
Or
alone.
you're
I mean,
stupid. You're
yes.
so dumb.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
So
Mhm.
these homes, you can imagine that these two different homes, they feel completely different. And again, the difference is the word
Yeah,
choices.
it's so true. Proverbs 15:4 says, "The tongue that heals is the tree of life, but a devious tongue, it breaks the spirit." And notice words don't merely just hurt feelings, they break someone's spirit. They
Mm,
really, really hurt. They go deep into here and they hurt.
that's good. Good reminder. Your spouse becomes what you constantly speak. And I
Mhm.
mean, that is something that's seriously like convicting and serious. I mean, it's serious. I think about it. I'm like, okay, so Nicole, you are a reflection of what I continuously speak.
Yeah.
Whew. I want to make sure that you are positive and built up and encouraged and joyful and all these things. I'm like, well, I have a role in that in the words that I speak, and I know I haven't always
You
and
do a
don't
great job, I
always.
feel like.
I'm growing and God's working on me, but I
You do great.
certainly haven't always done a great job. And I know
No,
I
you
still fail at times, even now. But I see the importance of it. And I hope all of us see the importance of it. Just thinking about your husband, your wife, husband, your husband, wives becomes what you constantly speak. And it's incredibly important. I mean, your words become mirrors. So if a
Mhm.
husband constantly hears, "You never do anything right?
Nagging. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Like,
he's gonna eventually, sadly, probably stop trying, or there's a very good chance that
yeah,
that could happen,
it's
right?
true.
And if a
Very
wife
true.
constantly hears, "You're beautiful, I'm thankful for you, I admire you," she begins believing it. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupt talk come out of your mouths, but only such is good for building others up."
Yep.
And I know for myself personally, when I think about that verse, I've quoted it or thought about it many times, like, no, let no corrupt talk come out of your mouth. But sometimes, at least I'll speak for myself, I stop there. I stop short of, well, what's the rest of the verse say? It's, but only speaking such as is good for building others up. That's
Mhm.
equally important, right? As
Yep.
what we don't say, it's equally important what we do say to be building people up. We should each ask ourselves, are my words building my spouse up, or are they demolishing them? And I know we know what we want them to be. God help us to be a husband and a spouse, or a husband or wife, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
that's building our spouses up.
That's so good, Alan. I love that. And encouragement, it's like oxygen,
Yes, it
really.
is.
Everyone flourishes where encouragement lives, right? So think about plants. That's for me, like I'm such a visual person, but I think about plants. Without sunlight, guess what's going to happen? Or water,
Hmm.
they die.
Yeah.
Without encouragement, people slowly wilt.
Yeah.
First Thessalonians 5:11, it tells us, encourage one another and build one another up. Notice Paul didn't say, be sure to correct each other
Yeah.
every day. He said, encourage, build, strengthen.
That's good. That's good, Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's a lot easier, especially for certain personality types, to want to correct. I know
Mhm.
I'm that personality type, and I know I've done way too much of that in the past instead of just building up and praising and finding the
Mhm.
good, looking for the good, and just feeding that, fertilizing that. I think, as you might have said. So here's a practical challenge for each of us, okay, to try every day this week. All right, you ready for this? Here's the challenge, and I want to take it with you too, Nicole.
Good,
This
let's do
challenge,
it.
okay?
Good. I love
To
challenges.
every day this
All
week,
right.
okay? And we don't have to stop after 1 week, but I'm inviting all of you listeners to join us in taking this challenge that every day this week, we will say 3 every day intentional, encouraging things to our spouse, and not generic things. Okay. Not general things, specific things like,
I love it.
I noticed you did this, something positive,
Mm-hmm.
or I appreciate this, or appreciated that you did this,
Love it.
or I appreciate this about you, maybe, or I admire this about you. Okay. Things like that with
Good.
0 negative. It can't, they're just a whole week of 0 negative.
Yeah.
All right. That's the challenge. And let's watch and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's the challenge for the week.
I love that. You know, criticism, it could come so easy, don't you think?
Very easy. To some of us,
but
easier than others.
Honor, actually, I feel like it takes intentionality. So anybody can criticize.
Yeah.
Very few consistently honor.
Yeah.
And so I want to be one of those that show honor and respect and not criticize. And, you know, it's so biblical. Romans 12:10, it says, outdo one another in showing honor. Imagine this, trying to outdo each other, not in arguments, but in honor, literally. I mean, we should do that tomorrow too. Just like outdo each other.
Yeah. Why wait till tomorrow? How about today?
Okay. Well, let's start right after this but let's go. Yeah. I mean, see how long we can go and just
do each other in honor.
Do each other.
Okay.
You know, we're both very, very competitive, you all. So this is going to be fun. But you want to do it?
No? Well, yes, I'm in.
Let's go.
I'm in. Okay. Right. Romans 12:10. We're going to walk out. We're going to walk out, work out. I don't know. Walk out. Romans 12:10. Outdo
By the way,
each other in honor.
You are so amazing. You just an amazing husband.
You are incredibly smart too. Oh man,
thank you.
You're a great wife. But anyway, thank you. We're going to do this, and we invite you to take the challenge with us. Okay. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're finding value, would you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell as well, so that you can be notified when future episodes drop every Thursday at 6 a.m. Central Time, like clockwork. All right. And by the way, if you're listening on any one of the podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of the others that we're on, please click the follow button so that you too can be notified when a new episode drops. We're excited to share every week with you something new.
Yeah. And should we talk about anger right now?
We should definitely talk about anger. Right. Absolutely. I know this is something I've struggled with as well in the past. And sadly, anger makes us say permanent things over temporary problems.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because when I've lost my patience and I've been angry and I've said words I wish I could reel in, and once things calm down inside my head, my heart, my body, and blood sugar.
It's usually when he doesn't eat, y'all. Like
when
it's
that
usually
happens,
when blood sugar levels are low. I'm like, hon, you need to go have a shake.
When that happens, I think back to the thing that was such a big deal at the time, and it's not.
No,
it just rarely ever is.
It makes you look stupid and silly too. Looking back, you're like, why did I get so mad?
Exactly.
You know?
And that's why we're warned, in James 1:19.
We probably do get warm too.
Well, we're quite comedians today.
Yeah, we are.
And this is why we're warned in James 1:19 and 20. It says everyone should be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to get angry, or slow to anger.
Such a good verse.
And
great reminder.
In most marriages, it seems it's kind of backwards. All right. It's been reversed. We're quick to speak, we're slow to listen, and we're quick to become angry.
So true.
And again, one sentence spoken in anger can require years of healing, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's true. And also another thing that is easily overlooked for us parents, if we are parents, is we should all keep in mind is the fact that our children borrow our voice. And and children eventually they begin speaking to themselves the way their parents spoke to them. And you definitely don't want to bring that into marriage or teach your children to do that and bring that into a marriage. So think about that. And one day your voice will become their inner voice.
Yeah.
So if all they hear is, I'm proud of you, I love you, you can do hard things, God has purpose for your life, those words they'll stay. They'll stay put. So, but sadly, criticism, it stays too.
Yeah.
They both do.
Yeah.
So this reminds me of what Ephesians 6:4 says. Do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord.
Yeah, it's good, Nicole. And it reminds me too of something that we've shared before, just the power of words. We've talked about how as parents, and it applies to each other, but as parents, if you're saying, oh yeah, Sally, she's the shy one.
yeah.
She's the shy one.
She's
When
gonna
you're
start
introducing
believing it.
Sally or whatever child's name is to somebody else, and they're hiding behind mom's
Yeah.
leg or whatever, and they hear you as the parent saying, oh yeah, well, you know what, Sally, she's just a shy one. How many times does Sally need to hear that before she starts believing
she'll start
she's
believing
the
it.
shy one?
She will believe it.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, and I've seen other parents, you want to call it brainwashing. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we take that term negatively, but I
Yeah.
think to wash something that's dirty and get it clean would be a good thing. And to wash out
Mhm.
stinking thinking and have our brains be
Yeah.
having right thinking, like Romans 12 talks about renewing our mind,
Mhm.
is a good thing. So you see parents in a positive sense brainwashing their son or daughter as you're the friendly one, you're outgoing, you're the
Yes.
smart one, you're the this, that, or the other, all
Yeah.
these positive things.
Yeah.
They are going to believe
They're
that,
going to believe it.
right?
They will. They'll
So
start to
good.
believe it.
It's
Yep.
so good. And another thing some of us can be guilty of is being cruel in the name of speaking truth. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to claim that, well, I'm speaking truth. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you as my wife.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it in love. And I'm reminded that Jesus is our
Gotta do it in
example to
love.
follow.
He's
Right?
the best example.
And he never used truth as an excuse to be cruel, or
Never.
even, as an excuse or
No.
to be lazy in that, and with his words in a way to deliver truth, maybe
Mhm.
in just a
Yeah.
sloppy, hurtful way. And some people will say, well, I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling her or him like it is.
Mhm.
Well, that's usually code for, I'm rude. And Jesus always spoke truth, but always with grace.
Yeah.
And we need to speak truth, but we need to do it in love and grace. And like you said in that Romans passage, outdo each other with honor.
Mhm.
When we're speaking truth, we need to do
Yeah.
it with honor
And you
as
just
well.
and you just want to think about, like, well, how do you want to be treated? How do you want to be spoken to? You
Right.
know? So that I try to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, okay, like right now, this is how I want to say it. I'm so upset, but no.
How would you want it said to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
if
so I
roles were
always have
reversed.
to. Yeah.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
That's wisdom. Us speaking truth to our spouse may be what God uses to help facilitate change in them. And we've seen that. Nicole has spoken truth to me. That has helped me out tremendously. And I think I've done the same for her.
Mhm.
And it could be something they're doing wrong, or maybe not. Maybe it's just something they can do better, or an area they can grow in. It could take all kinds of shapes and
Mhm.
forms and sizes. But if we don't do it with grace, they may never hear us. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
It's true.
I mean, you could have the best advice or the best help, but if it's not done in grace, if it's not communicated in grace and love, gently, and, caringly, then and then they don't hear, then it's not helpful to them. And worse yet, it can damage them and our relationship with them in the process while we're trying to help.
That's so true. Ephesians 4:15 addresses this by telling us to speak the truth in love so that we can grow in every way to be like who? Jesus.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
So truth without love, it wounds, but love without truth deceives. So our marriage, it needs both. Right?
Yeah, it definitely needs both.
Yeah.
I mean, because the flip side of that is we don't speak truth.
No, you need to speak truth.
And then that's not loving either, because we're not letting someone know about maybe a blind spot they have in their life.
They need help.
Right? I mean, I want you sharing.
And I have
blind
mainly
spots
with the children, like, hun, you should do this or do that.
Yeah.
Or say it this way, and it helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And let's talk about when we do mess up, because I know I've had my share of messing up.
We all have. We're all human. So
yeah, for sure. It's important to remember that apologies have power too. We say words have power, and they do, but apologies also have power. And sometimes the most healing words you can deliver to somebody are only 3. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? followed by
being humble.
Humility, for sure. Followed by, will you forgive
Will
me?
you forgive me? Yeah.
I was wrong. Will you forgive me?
It's
And
powerful.
sometimes those are really in our flesh, hard words to say, but they're
And
so
asking the
important.
question, how can I do better too next
For
time?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are words, those are words that just, they have the ability to soften hearts, and they have the
Yeah.
ability to restore trust. They have the ability to invite healing. Now, again,
Mhm.
our actions need to follow that we're repentant and that we're turning from this thing, and then it's not just a habitual sin that we commit over and over and over again, just quickly saying, I was wrong, will you forgive me? Moving on, doing it again, doing it again, doing it again. One would question,
Yeah.
are we really sorry? But done correctly, the words do have ability to invite healing and restore trust. Colossians 3:13 commands us as Christ followers to forgive each other as the Lord has forgiven you, it says. And that's something that is challenging because sometimes all of us are going to be tempted to not want to quickly forgive. Why? Because we're wounded, we're hurt, and in the flesh, we want to hang on to that for some ugly reason.
Yeah.
And
Satan wants us to hang on to it.
Yeah, he's working overtime on us to try to hang on to that. And that's why God gives us this commandment, this advice for amazing, healthy living, prosperous living, to forgive each other quickly as the Lord has forgiven
God
you.
has all the answers.
He does.
He does.
And he put them all in his word.
So awesome.
Everything we need to know. And
like everything, like you were looking up, remember, I mean, I'm going off on a rabbit trail, but it just God is so awesome. But we were looking at a little fawn and had little white dots, and we're like, didn't you ask ChatGPT? I don't know.
Yeah, earlier today.
Siri,
I'm like, why do they have white dots? I wonder why they have white dots.
And there's a reason. We knew. We're like, there is a reason.
Yeah.
And what was the reason?
Well, according to ChatGPT, the reason was camouflage, so that when they're because we did know this already, I guess, that the mothers will bet, when a fawn is born, they bed them down in a spot, and they leave them there. And I don't know for how long before they come back, but we've found fresh fawns, day-old fawns on our property, just pretty much laying like in a
don't touch them
planter bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I mean, I could just walked up and touched it. It's not that they won't move; they just lay there. So we knew that already. Yeah, they're like frozen. And so anyway, ChatGPT said the white dots are to help them be camouflaged during that season when I guess they're trying to get their legs under them or whatever is happening there. I didn't go that deep on it, but it says the white dots mimic the rays of light, like in a forest hitting the ground.
So incredible. It just makes me want to cry. It just goes to show what an awesome God we serve. He thinks of everything, and how powerful his word is. So sorry, I got off on a rabbit trail. I do that sometimes.
But I think you're just saying that God has the answer to everything.
He does.
He created everything.
He knows
He's put
everything.
in his word all the answers that we need.
That's right.
And we just need to go there to find them.
Yep. So right now I want you to imagine what your marriage could look like if you were just fiercely committed to blessing your spouse with your words. Imagine just being every morning by speaking blessings instead of complaining about your spouse. Imagine praying over them, complimenting them, encouraging them, speaking God's promises, and just being their greatest cheerleader.
I love it. So back to the challenge that I mentioned earlier. We really want to invite you to take this challenge with us this week. Are you up for it? For the next 7 days? Yes. Every morning, I'm going to recap, okay? Every morning, tell your spouse 3 things. 1 thing you appreciate about them, 1 thing you admire about them, 1 reason you're thankful for them with 0 negativity, okay?
I love it.
Yes.
By the way, I appreciate you taking out the trash every day. And, I really admire what an incredible leader
She's
you
modeling
are.
this for you, I
see. And the reason I'm thankful is I'm just thankful I don't have to take out the trash. And I am so thankful I don't have to lead the family. So thank you.
Wow.
You're leading so well.
Wow. What an amazing wife you are. Thank you.
You're
so welcome. It felt great.
Yeah.
It felt great. It felt great. And so that's what we're talking about, and doing that for each other for an entire week. You're already getting a head start. I see how you are. Competitive.
Yeah.
But with zero negativity again, like I said earlier. So we challenge you to do that every morning this week. Okay. And then every evening, pray out loud over your spouse for 1 minute. Pray out loud over your spouse for 1 minute.
With them hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And then watch what happens. Okay. So that's the challenge that we're going to take with you this week. And we hope you will take it with us.
Yeah. And here's some good questions too for you to discuss with your spouse.
By the way,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
We will include the 3 questions to ask your spouse. That challenge, we will include it in the show notes.
Yep.
Below this episode. Okay.
Yeah,
so
glad you said that.
You can go down there and find it.
Also, here are some good questions for you to discuss with your spouse after listening to this episode. All right. Number 1, what words from your childhood still affect you today?
That's
so
good.
Ask each other that question. And then number 2, what words from your spouse have meant the most?
I like that.
And then 3, what words have hurt the most? And 4, what words do you wish you heard more often? And 5, how can we intentionally speak life this week to our spouse?
And then taking the challenge.
That's right. That's right. And 6, if our children copied the way we speak to each other, would you be proud?
Ooh.
Yes or no?
Yeah, that's convicting when you hear yourself come out in a child and it's not beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely seen that.
I think we've all done it. Like, oh my goodness, I'm sounding like my mom or my dad. It's like, oh, it could be a good thing or, a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then you catch yourself and you're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that.
So when we hear our children, if they copy us,
Eek.
Would we be proud or would we not? So that's good. So there's 6 questions that we'll also include in the show notes below too. So you'll have those 6 questions to ask, a one-time thing, but you can do it obviously as often as you want. And then these other 3 questions for the challenge that you can ask, hopefully every day, every morning for the next 7 days. Now, let's each remember that our spouse is listening to someone every single day. The question is, will your voice become the loudest voice of encouragement in their life or the loudest voice of criticism? May God help us each to keep Proverbs 18:21 right here in the front of our minds, remembering that, as you said earlier, you quoted it, life and death are in the power of the tongue.
So we can't take back yesterday's words, but we can choose today's. Yep. And every sentence we speak is either laying like another brick in a strong marriage or it's taking a swing with a wrecking ball.
We don't like wrecking balls.
No, we don't.
No. Wrecking balls have a place, not in a marriage. So this is our prayer for all of us this week, that we would ask the Lord to make our home a place where life is spoken, where grace is abundant, where truth is delivered in love, and that every member of our family leaves conversations feeling more valued than when they entered the conversation. Let's speak that kind of words that our spouse and our children will still remember decades from now. Because why? Because they sounded like the heart of Christ.
I love it.
That's our prayer for you. That's our prayer for us. And let's each ask God this week, for that.
Yeah. If this podcast has been helpful and encouraging to you, will you share it with someone that desires to improve their marriage?
Yes. And as always, we would love to hear from you. Any topic you want to hear in the future, please contact us. Our contact information is in the show notes below as well.
And if you'd be willing to leave a 5-star review for us on your favorite podcast app or possibly share it on your social media, that would really mean the world to us. Our social media links are in the show notes below.
Yeah, and that really does make a difference. Help really to get these messages out to more people who desperately need to hear this content. All right. So thank you for being a part of the Impact Marriage community. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday, same time, same place. Bye for now.